Shalom. I want to start giving all praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Respect and charity to all you brothers out there sincerely pushing this word with sincerity and truth. Okay? So let's get into it. Today we're gonna touch on Revelation 13. Okay? We're gonna touch on some other topics. Okay? First scripture we're gonna start off with is Revelation 13 and 2. So let's get that. Revelation 13 and 2. And it says, "And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet was as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion." Now, the beast which I saw, which is the leopard, that was talking about Alexander the Greek. Alright? And now you know that the Greeks are now the Romans to this day. The Greeks went over to the Romans. So when they had the battle, the Greeks was nothing but Romans. They were still Edomite, but they are the Romans. So now let's speed that up and thinking of today. Okay? Now the Romans are the so-called Edomites today. Okay? Okay, and they're all part of these power structures that rule together. And I'm going to break that down. And it says, "And I saw the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard." I explained that. "And his feet was as the feet of a bear." Now the feet of the bear is talking about Russia. Okay? That would be talking about modern day Russia. And then it says, "And his mouth is of a lion." And that mouth of the lion is talking about the Great Britain. "And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority." Now the reason why I bring that out, because there's three power structures. Okay, that's three. You have the NATO, you have the EU. The NATO is the National Atlantic Treaty Organization, and you got the EU, which is the European Union. So I speeded that up today, and this was talking about kingdoms. Okay, now kingdoms in the past that died, but with the Roman it came back. Rome came back again. Okay, so like I said, the ancient Greeks was the are now the Romans. Okay, so that's why we sometimes go into saying that America is spiritually Egypt, America is Rome again, or we usually say America is an extension of Rome. Okay, that's what we usually say. Okay, so I go to say that is because when people say that there's no missiles, how are we going to get into the island of Josaphat? Okay, how is this going to take place? Okay, these are the ones that they say that the missiles is a hoax. So I ask you, all right, how are we supposed to get to Yahweh coming back when all these different nations come together to fight against Yahweh on the island of the Josaphat? Okay, which I believe would be Saudi Arabia today. Okay, around there, the Middle East. Because at the end it says that all the countries are going to come together to meet on the island of Josaphat. Alright? What are they going to go there to do? Okay? So if the missiles no hoax, they use these weapons, okay, that you say that people say that the missiles are not in the Bible, but how could you say that? Because without a vision, the people perish. Okay? Without a vision, the people perish. Remember, the Bible speaks metaphorically, it speaks dark sentences and parables. So you may not see the word missiles, but you will see arrows, you will see other instruments. Give me Isaiah 54 and 1. Let me give you Isaiah 54 and 1. Let's back it up. Or 54 and 13. I think it's Isaiah 54 and 13. Isaiah 54 and 16. There it is. Isaiah 54 and 16. "Behold, I have created the smith that blows the coals in the fire, and that brings forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy." Okay? Now, what is a smith? What does he do? Okay? He's a craftsman that makes weapons. Okay? That's what he does. Okay? He makes weapons. So the Lord created the smith for his purpose to make certain weapons, you could say, you know what I'm saying, to carry out his judgments. So you could use a man and create and put in a man's thoughts in his mind to create this devastating nuclear missile or weapon to carry out your cause. Okay? And let's go into that. And let's say that we're going to go into that by saying Wait, let me finish that. Behold, I've created the smith that blows the coals in the fire, and that bring forth an instrument for his work. An instrument for his work. An instrument for his work. Okay? And an instrument we know is a tool. So you created, the Lord creates all things. So he creates man, does he not? Okay, does not the Lord put things in a man's mind? Give me Job 33. Let's go to Job 33. Let's prove that. Job 33:15. And it says, let's start at 14, but it's verse 15 is the point. For the Most High speak once, yea twice, yet man perceive it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep fall upon man and slumbering upon the bed. Okay? Then he open up the ears of men and seal their instruction. That goes for whether it's the nations, or whether it's the seed of Jacob, or whether it's the heathen. That goes for the wicked, that goes for the righteous, okay, and that goes for we're gonna just sum it up like that: the riches and the rich, the wicked and the righteous. He instructs their thoughts, because remember that the Lord creates all things. Okay, so we have to ask ourselves this: when the Lord created a smith and the instrument of the waster, what is he doing? He's created a man and putting thoughts in his mind, according to Job 33:15, to make man produce his purpose. See, it's not man doing this on his own. So you may not see a missile saying M-I-S-S-L-E directly written in the Bible, but it's a parable. Okay? And he would use something else. He would use man to cause his cause. And that's how that is. Okay? And then it says, then he opened up the ears and give men to seal their instructions, that he may withdraw a man from his purpose and his pride from man. Okay? So, you see what I'm saying? It's when you get up, like you already know that the elect is what? They were predestined to be who they are. Okay? So you were predestined if you're of the elect. Okay? This ain't something that you could just wake up in the morning and say, hey, I'm the elect. That's why we're striving for perfection. Okay? We're striving to get into the kingdom, because we don't know, even if I'm out here every Saturday and I put in more work than everybody else, that don't mean that I'm going to be saved. That don't mean I'm going to be called. Okay? Every man is called, but that don't mean every man is called. But that doesn't mean he's chosen. So, and that goes to the brother of the circumcision. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you come out here or not. You know what I'm saying? It don't really matter. How you doing? That was 5-0. I never seen him pulled up on here like that. You know? So that's what that is. You know what I'm saying? That they kind of, I gotta watch them, because they never really 5-0 don't really pull up over here like that. You know what I'm saying? And this is a mixed neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it right not too far from the train station. Now, in the summertime, this is going to be more of a place for people to come visit. You know what I'm saying? Because the so-called Edomites come from the city and they come out here because down this way is a ferry. So in the summer, it start heating up. Now in the winter, you know what I'm saying? I'll probably be the winter I have to find a spot, but I may not be out here too long anyway, because I'm gonna move on. But I might be hitting VA. You know what I'm saying? Me and the family might be picking up to move in VA. You know what I'm saying? But that's here and there. Okay? But that's what I do in the summertime. I come out here because they're gonna get on the heat. They're gonna come here off the train station and go into the ferry. Now I might just hit over there towards the ferry, because that's where you see all of them coming at, and you see it's a part that multiple cultures, our people be there, and so the Edomites. Because remember, we're preaching to both. We're preaching to the downfall of this kingdom, so the nations need to hear this, and our people need to hear it at the same time. Okay, so that's what this is about. So that's all on that. And the reason why I brought those two scriptures out is because if you're not a thinker, you're not going to get this. You're not a thinker, you're not going to get this. All right. So now, when I gave you Revelation 13:2, those are the kingdoms that's going to rule. Okay, and these kingdoms are going to rule. So, do y'all know your nationality? What's your nationality?
Black and Indian.
Black and Indian? Well, that's black and Indian is really not a nationality. You really come from the. What's your father from? Yeah. No, like is he so-called African American?
Yeah.
Okay, so you would really be from the tribe of Judah, according to the Bible. So you are God's chosen people. So that's why we come out here. You might not see your own tribe, but you see other brothers around the world coming out here on the highways and byways to wake up men like you. And also to let you know your heritage. Because you are God's chosen people. And when the Messiah comes back, he's coming back for you. You got to keep the laws commandments. So I just figured I'd let you know that my name is Shemai. All right, peace. All right, you too.
I like this nigga.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. So remember, I gave you Revelation 13 and 2, and Revelation 13 and 2 was talking about the three kingdoms, which was the Greeks, but now the Romans, and then the Romans an extension of what? America or Babylon the Great today. Then you have Russia, and those two are major arcanas who's going to fight against each other. Okay, and then you got Britain, which is which was the lion. So now let's just use those three for an example. Okay, now what are those three going to do? Okay, what are their purpose? Their purpose is to fight and rule. Okay, their purpose is to conquer because they're trying to conquer for what? Oil. Okay, gold, the finest things in the world. Okay, and if you have oil and gold and food and you can control these commodities, you rule. Okay, you rule with a fist. Okay, and what are their number one purpose? To conquer, to be the head niggas in charge over the earth. But in their heart, they want to be as if they were God. Okay, they're acting as if they was God. Okay, and let's prove that. We're going to go to Obadiah 3 and 4. Obadiah verse 3 and 4. So that's why I started with those three, because they're major arcanas. And there's other little branches of classes. That's why I said that EU, okay, the European Union, and then you have NATO, okay. And it's all for power in it's all for power. Obadiah is a small little book. I got it. Obadiah, chapter 3, verse 4. Listen up. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. Now we're talking about kingdoms. Okay? Men that's ruling kingdoms. And who are the men? They are the wicked. Okay? The seed of the wicked. That came back from all the way from Cain all the way to now. But his difference was Cain back then was a black. His pigment was a dark skin. Now they're white. Okay? Okay, but that same spirit is back here again, and that's in the spirit of the Edomites that came through to Esau. Okay? Because Cain was the first murderer, and these niggas is a murderers. And Esau was blessed with the sword, and that sword is used for wicked and for evil, and it's also used to whip Israel into shape. So Esau got that because the Lord uses him to correct the children of Jacob, punish them for going against him. Let's stay on point though. Okay? So that pride of their heart have deceived thee. Why? It deceived thee because their power, okay, their military might, which we're going to get into, it deceived them to think, to boast too much of themselves. Okay? That's how it's deceived them. So now these niggas got gassed up. Okay, now they got gassed up. And now it went to their head. Don't let it go to your head now. And that's what it did. Okay, just like you get niggas that get puffed up and things go into their head. They get gassed up. Somebody put a battery on your back. And you better think about it because it may not have been the Lord that put that battery on your back. It may have been the Satan that put that battery pack on your back. Okay? Okay, well, it's still coming from the Lord because the Lord controls Satan. Shaitan. Okay? So these niggas, so these people that's conquer, these major arcanas, according to Revelation 13 and 2, okay, you got Russians, you got Romans, okay, these are all Edomites, okay, and then you got the lion, which is Great Britain, okay, they're all one Edomite family fighting for power, okay, and then it says, thy pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwells in the cliffs of the rocks, whose habitation is high. Now, when you go to New York City, if you look, this is symbolic, but you have to really meditate on this. They build cities that's symbolic to how they used to live in the Caucasian mountains. Okay? That's what they used to do. Alright? So they build the city according to how they used to live in the rocks that dwells in the clefts of the mountains. Okay? Then it says, though that dwells in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that says in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And that's what the circumcision too. The ones that know the scriptures, okay, because they get prideful, okay, and then they figure like, I don't need nobody. I could do this on my own. I could do this on my own, or no man can correct me, okay. And you do have to have somebody that first teach you to open up your eyes and stuff like that. But then once you get the understanding, the Most High, Yahweh Shai, will teach you the rest, okay. But you still would have men that teach you, that taught you. Okay, but my whole thing, even with that, even that you may have men that teach you, that don't mean that everything is right that they taught you. Okay, they may have some things right, but they may not have other things right, and certain things might not sit with you. So what do? You got to pack your bag and move on. But you can move on without running your mouth. Okay, you can move on by just move on. If you don't believe in something, you don't believe in it. But the scripture says prove all things. And a lot of niggas are dick riders. So what they do, they stay inside of a group, a major group, because they want to be known. Okay? And some niggas just don't want to be by themselves. So some niggas they go to any nigga that feel like he got the power. If he feel like he got the power and he talking strong and with great power, they like, oh shit, I'm gonna run up to him. It's just like on the streets, y'all. One nigga that was well known, he gets locked up. Another nigga that comes up just like him, everybody runs under him and they forget about the first one. It's the one that with strength and power, the ones that rules, just like with the nation. It goes the same way. Okay? It goes the same way. Then it says, they say in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Yeah, who shall bring me down to the ground? We back on Obadiah talking about Esau now. And the other nations, the power structure, who trying to win to get the props. Because whoever get the props, you know what I'm saying, they control the whole world, and then they can rule people, okay, and they can sit on a throne, a bullshit throne, to pretend like they're the Most High, because nobody can take over the throne of the Most High. Only one that's getting that seat is Yahweh Shai, because the Lord, his Father, said so. Okay, and then it says, though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, thou that set thy nest among the stars, this would I bring thee down, says the Lord. Now we're going to give you Malachi 1 and 4. Now check this out. This is a knockout. Malachi 1 and 4. Where Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus says the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. Now, think about this. Wherever, the ones that I just mentioned in Revelation 13 and 2, wherever they go at, right? When whoever has the power and they conquer that land, they set their flag on that land to show you that, oh, we conquered this land. We up in this motherfucker now. Excuse my language. I'm just trying to talk graphic so that you can get some of the understanding of what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? So I try to connect that with the streets. Okay? Because some of us from the street, we living in the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? We understand what's happening. So I try to connect with you to open up your mind to be graphic in a way that you would understand. Okay? If not, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so they come up from here and they put their foot on the spot and say, yo, I'm taking over this block right now. This is my spot. They put up their flag. Niggas got gang guard. What the gangs do? They tag. They tag their territory. They say, yo, this is the so-called blood territory. I want y'all niggas to come around here. This is blood. Okay? Or this is Crip territory. Or this is folk territory. So they mark their thing with their signature. Okay? With the spray painting with their graffiti. Okay? That's their territory. Okay, so now that's the same thing with Esau. Wherever he go in this country, he put his flag, his stamp to show, yo, we up in here now. We got parts in this land. We ruling now. Okay, that's the same thing. Now do you understand it in that way? That's the same thing. Y'all want y'all niggas coming up in here. Now we part of this. If I catch y'all niggas up in here, I'ma hurt y'all. Okay? So this is where their power comes in at. And then it says the border of wickedness and the people against whom the Lord have an indignation forever. And these people are going to get, they're going to be, first they're going to be burnt up. No, first they're going to be put into slavery because they got to get double for what they did to the Lord's apple of his eye, which is Israel, who I come out here for. Okay, I come out here for the nations too, but to tell them they're down. Okay, I come out here to tell people that if they wrong, get themselves right. I don't come out here just to bash people and put them down. Okay, I don't come out here to just do that, but I'm coming out here to warn them because I'm telling them to warn them first before the destruction. And that's what the prophets used to do all the way back in the beginning of Genesis and time. They always came to give you warnings before the destruction comes. Then when the destruction comes, then it's too late. But you can't say that you never knew because you always had a prophet in every kingdom to tell you what was going to happen to that kingdom before that kingdom went down. And then niggas start crying when the shit get all messed up, but you was warned. Okay, that's why we have to get men right that messes up for us because we don't by breaking God's laws. Okay, now let's take back to Esau, or back to the nations, back to this power structure, back to who wants to be the big kahuna. Okay, that set themselves as his God. We read that again, just so you can get an understanding. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. Okay, now that's something that you need to meditate on. The people who the Lord have indignation forever. Okay, why is that? Do you know that all the other nations have a chance to serve? Have a chance. They're all going to serve the Most High. But after Esau does drink his cup, which is double, he's going to be destroyed. He was the only nation that never gave, the Lord never gave repentance. Let's give you that. Let's give you that. Let's give you that.
Alternate branches or other means of transportation. We expect service east of Padron, including to and from the Hamptons and Montauk, to be suspended all day. Regular service to Padron and to Riverhead,
Say prove all things.
Branch remains in operation.
And this is out of the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Now this quote you're not going to find in the Blue Letter. In the Blue Letter Dictionary, you're not going to find that. Okay. Edomites. Red, the nation and its people who were the descendants of Esau. Would you say they're here today? Okay. Would you say they're here today? He founded the country. So his name is equated with Edom. The country was also called Seir, of Mount Seir, which was the name of the territory in which the Edomites lived. Remember I told you, I gave you about those that dwell in a cliff. And then when you go to New York City, he builds it with those high skyscrapers because it reminds him of him living in the cliffs or the mountains, like a caveman. Okay, and this is coming out of this, okay? The kingdom of Edom was founded during the 13th century BC according to archaeological evidence. According to what? Archaeological evidence. In the process of about 4 centuries, the government of Edom changed from one under tribal chief to a monarchy. Saul fought against the Edomites, but David conquered them and put garrisons throughout the whole land. Now, here's the knockout. To go right to the point. Edom figures prominently in the poetic scriptures as a scene of great future judgments. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from the Lord. Woo! So I gave you Revelation 13:2 because I wanted to show you, okay, that it's a power structure about who's going to rule Okay? And Rome, I mean, in America is an extension of Rome, which was first the Greeks, which the lion represents the Greeks, Alexander and the Greeks. Then you had the bear represents Russia. Then you have the lion, which represents Great Britain. These are major economists who rules. Okay, but they're all Edomite family, no matter how you look at it. They're all the Edomite family who's trying to conquer and rule. Okay? So, what I'm saying to you is, and I'm reading this again, this is on page 142 out of the Compact Bible, Zion, the Bible Dictionary. Edom figures prominently in the poetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise, of mercy from the Most High. Knockout. Knockout. Okay? So now when you come out here and you preach this, some people get butthurt because now a lot of people mix with these Edomites. Okay, a lot of people love these Edomites. A lot of people want to have them under their wing because they feel as though they can make it in society. You might have a little, you have an Edomite under you. You know what I'm saying? Things might be a little stress-free for you. So that's why you see a lot of celebrities, they grab Edomites. That's why you see a lot of the modern day commercials today. You see them, black men with a lot of Edomites under them. So-called white people right under them. Okay? And they try to show you the program to say that we should all come together. See, they only tell you to come together for when it's a purpose for them. Okay? But before, back in recently, not too long ago, but you niggas think it's long ago, they were just saying, yo, segregation, we don't want you niggas in our bathroom. We don't want you niggas drinking from our water fountain. Okay? We don't want you from, that's not too long ago. Okay? But now people say, people is people. Love, they say this bullshit. You can't stop love. Okay? Love is to keep these commandments. Okay? And the love is to love your people first and foremost. That's what love is. Okay? You don't need to make it in a society to love, to be under one of those Edomites. I'm talking about the Bible. Do you know your nationality?
I'm African American.
Okay, well, that's a misnomer. Where your father from?
California.
No, like, she's a so-called African American?
Same race.
Okay, so your father's so-called African American, right? All right, so that means you'll be from the tribe of Judah, according to the Bible. And according to Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6, that you are God's chosen people. So when the Messiah come back, according to Matthew 15:24, he's coming for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And guess what? If you keep God's commandments, he's coming for you. All right, so I just tell you that, you know, the Messiah is also a black man. Okay, he's not a so-called white man. You know what I'm saying? What they was teaching you in the churches. He looks just like me and you. Okay, so when he comes back, if you keep his law, statutes, commandments, he's coming back for you. And he's going to destroy this place. And those people that don't keep his commandments and do what they want to do, defiling yourself with cigarettes, okay, stealing, robbing, and stuff like that, the Messiah, he's going to come to destroy you. 2/3 of our people is going to be destroyed. And when the kingdom is going down, you know what happens? The prophets come and warn the people to tell them before this kingdom goes down. So now you got a prophet telling you right now that this kingdom is going down. So turn around and repent, because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And the Messiah is coming for you, but you got to keep the law, statutes, commandments.
Well, I don't do anything wrong.
No, I'm not saying that you do, but you are doing something wrong if you don't manifest in this Bible. Are you keeping his commandments?
Well, I know the commandments.
You don't know the commandments?
Yeah, don't rob, steal, or kill anybody.
All right, well, that's good then. Well, that's one of the things. But if you want to hear more and learn the commandments, I'm here Saturdays or Sundays, you know. And you can look me up on YouTube. Write this down, Shammai Basar. You can look me up on YouTube if you want to learn more. This is for your people, to uplift our people, because our people are in the ghettos.
People saying stuff that we don't believe. They say superheroes are demonic. I don't believe it.
Right? Well, we're going to get spiritual power when the Messiah come back.
Superheroes are nothing demonic. They just bring wealth.
Right.
Nothing demonic.
Write down, remember, you got a phone?
Yeah.
All right, so just write down Shammai Basar. You can look me up on the internet. And I got
Basar.
Shammai, S-H.
I could just ask Siri.
You'll see it on YouTube.
I said Shemai Basal, stupid Siri thing. Shemai Basal.
Got anything?
Siri thing is pretty stupid. I spell it again.
S-H-A-M-I B-A-S-A-R.
S-H-A-M-A-I.
Yeah, and it should come right up.
And B-A-S-A-R.
S-A-R.
Shemai Basar.
Yeah, right there. Oh no, that's Shana Basar. S-H-A-M-I.